Was anyone here ever affected by the whole D&D is satanic/evil thing? I was just watching an episode of Forensic Files where the narrator says the police find evidence of a family being involved with a cult, and a cut to Pick related.
Honestly, I never... Now, the thing is, D&D wasn't all that big for us. You know, for us, it was actually 40k has always been pretty big.
Yeah.
Over here.
But the whole satanic thing, the only thing I can remember is Pokemon.
Oh, I remember.
Remember that going about?
I remember my auntie was like, "Oh, you know, I was seeing like they're saying that this guy saying it's like something to do with the devil and stuff." It's like, what?
No.
But mind you, I was like 6 at the time, so it's not like I could like refute anything about it. You know what I mean? But I remember even my granny, very religious woman, like, you know, like you can imagine an old woman from Dublin to be a very religious sort, and even she turned and was like, "No, that's silly. Like, come on, there's no."
It's silly little cute animals.
They're little animals that. No, there's no way that's satanic.
Yeah.
Why? What was your one anyway?
No, it was just like, I remember it going around like the schools at the time, and the teachers were worried. People were bringing in Pokemon cards, and teachers were like, "I don't know if we should have these here."
Absolute fucking boomers. Am I right, guys? I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why Tommy the Commie is interested in D&D.
Because it's satanic.
It's like, makes me more evil, you know? But did you guys ever came across... Let's get into this thread. I would love to hear what you guys say down below, though. But let's keep going.
My crazy religious aunt saw that I had a D20 and lost her shit. She tried to convince my parents I needed therapy, and I was no longer allowed to go over to my aunt and uncle's house or talk to my cousins. It was just one of the many reasons why my parents no longer talked to them. But it was one of the final straws.
Honestly.
Why was it D20?
Why was it always aunties?
Why was it always aunties?
Was it like the Karen meme? Like, I know the Karen memes have always kind of been a thing. There's something about middle-aged women, and there's something goes in the brain. I remember
seeing a thing of like, what is the Karen going to be for like our generation? Because nobody like our age is called Karen.
Yeah.
And somebody said Jessica.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jessica's always horse girls though.
No, definitely Jessica. Jessica or Stephanie. Or Sophie.
Sophie and Emma. They're very common names for our age group, I think.
Yeah. I started playing D&D around age 9, which would have been 1994. It was introduced to me by the neighbour's kid, and I got really into it almost immediately. I also saw a Conan movie around this time, which was a big inspiration.
Hey, Conan movies are great.
Yeah.
Anyone that says, no, they're shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about.
I brought my hobby to the after-school programme I was at and started playing it with my friend Charlie, who was my best friend at the time. We played it almost every day for probably about 2 months, and he loved it. Then one day he came in and was nearly in tears. He told me he wasn't allowed to play the game anymore, and that his mum told him we couldn't hang out anymore. I was planning on inviting him to spend the night at my house that weekend, which would have been awesome. I was completely baffled. I asked why, and he said that his mum told him that it was of the devil. His mum withdrew from the after-school programme, and I saw him briefly, maybe 1 or 2 times after that. I was devastated that I lost a friend. I found out later that his mum was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, that explains it.
And the whole D&D, it's a satanic cult shit, was really big with them apparently. I also remember a controversy about Wizards of the Coast removing a pentagram from the card called Unholy Strength because Christian moms cried about it. And TSR, the then owners of D&D, getting rid of any mentions of demons in the games completely. I also switched schools later and was told they didn't allow D&D because it supposedly made kids kill themselves.
What?
There was an old story, which is untrue, about some kid killing themselves in a tunnel or something because he was playing D&D. And that was all it took. That shit sucked. What?
I don't know, I just feel sad about these sorts of stories. I feel like,
that's like all the fucking weird stories went about whenever you're in primary school. Like,
oh, the devil worshippers at the...
Like Marilyn Manson removing his rib. Or like, remember the Kellogg's kid?
Oh yeah, okay. I think that was only in the UK. So there was a TV advert like for what was it? Tigers?
No, Frosties?
Frosties, yeah, tigers.
Frosties.
Yeah, Frosties.
And it had the tiger on it.
And there was a kid, and he gone about and was like, they're going to taste great. And it was like a wee sing song. They're going to taste great, and everyone, even kids, thought it was pure cringe at the time. And apparently now, because everyone...
Was that about the pencil?
Yeah, I've got there. So everyone took the piss out of this because they thought it was like, even for kids, they thought it was absolute cringe.
Oh, you're cringe,
and
apparently he couldn't take the bullying.
So apparently this child was getting bullied. So he was the actor that did it, and apparently he put two pencils up his nose and then headbutted the desk to kill himself.
But that was bullshit.
Yeah, there's no way a fucking 12-year-old has got the absolute nerve to put pencils up their nose and then fucking do themselves.
Well, I don't know. Somebody check it out and let us know down in the comments. It might be true.
I don't know. Like,
it's like all the bullshit things that you heard whenever you were kids.
Marilyn Manson being able to suck his own dick was kind of funny, not gonna lie. Like, and honestly, it makes sense from him.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't put it past him.
If there was one person in the world that actually would go ahead and do that, like, and you know the weird thing is, back then that was considered so strange and out there. Mate, have you seen TLC?
Yeah.
You know, them people, them weird obsessions and all that.
Like, if somebody told me as well, like, the only other person who I would believe would do something like that would be Jeffree Star.
Oh, yeah. Jeffree Star is kind of more like a modern day
Marilyn Manson with all like the gothic.
But in...
Well, kind of all
but
the gothic.
He's in like another niche of it. He's kind of going in a different direction, maybe. I don't know. It's a weird
Because Marilyn Manson looked like an alien.
Yeah, he does.
And Jeffree Star looks like an alien.
Yeah. But, honestly, I just don't get the whole satanic thing. I do think it's definitely a thing with boomer women.
When was it? Was it like in the 80s, the whole satanic panic?
Yeah, it was. To be fair, though, there was actually quite a few, like, cults springing up. And, like, you know, cults were a thing. Like, they don't seem to be as common these days, but cults did exist.
Yeah, and there were like, cults over here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know whether it's because Ireland, the whole, like, paganism thing is quite heavy within Ireland, that there was quite a lot.
Yeah, like, cults did exist, and there were ones that the thing is, you don't know if they were just the goths in the graveyard taking the piss, having a drink, or if they were genuine real. But the thing is, it really comes down to, were they taking the piss, were they just LARPing as? Because I could see goths in the 90s being like, yeah, I drink blood, I do that.
Yeah, but they were, oh my god, look at the 90s, look at The Craft.
Yeah,
the movie The Craft. Like that.
Mate, Craft was great. I
loved The Craft, but The Craft and Buffy and Charmed and all that sprung a big fucking resurgence of, I'm a Wiccan, I'm this, I'm one with nature, and fucking the fire and the earth, and all this, and like that had a big resurgence of it, and which older people would.
The kids these days,
they're into the devil.
In league with the devil himself. What's worse, communism or the devil?
Communism.
Yeah, everyone knows this.
Talking to Commie in utter panic, going the devil or communism.
Right.
A friend of mine quit playing / DMing because the premise of faux worshipping made up gods went against his religion. At least that was the reason he gave us. I don't know if it was his parents' pressure or his own decision. And in the end, it doesn't really matter. In the end, it doesn't even matter.
You know, I'll talk about this afterwards. I was talking to Megan about this.
But his leaving led to the disbanding of our group as well. That sucked. Aside from this one case, I never really saw much of it. But this was basically the Balkans in the 90s.
Okay, you had bigger problems
in the 90s. So people were busy hunting for ex-Soviet informants instead of caring about what games the kids play.
I think if you're in Yugoslavia in the 90s, I think
you're a bigger fish to fry, boy.
Yeah, but no, I was talking to Megan about this the other day, and it's kind of funny actually when you think about it. But see guys that are like too into, like, I mean, like, it's definitely like a lot of people can enjoy Linkin Park and Creed, but you know, guys that are really into Linkin Park and Creed, there's something not like there. There's something like there's something like.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Linkin Park.
Yeah.
But you know those boys who are really into Linkin Park.
Maybe another one would be guys that are really fucking into Eminem.
Yes.
It's a scene category. Like, I mean, like, you know, yeah, you can enjoy a bit of Eminem. You can like a bit of, like, you know, I'm not saying, like, you know, it's a bad thing. Like,
no.
Like, they put out good music. Who the fuck am I to say?
Yeah. But the ones here, really? Boy.
you gotta look out for them guys. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta keep an eye out.
Right, you slimy gets. As you know, we got all the gobble slaves hard at work keeping the printers tickety-boo. Some of them are even getting a bit sex deprived and start making naughty models of their own.
Ooh.
But at the minute, we only paying them in bottles of water. But if you buy models from us, we'll be able to pay them 1 gold piece a week. That's proper good wages for gobbles of gat. But if big titty goblins aren't what you want, we got it all. We got dwarves, elves, illifids, demons, kobolds, all that, and even some of them ugly humies. But you can only get it on that www
thing, Neckbeardia.co something. I'll get one of the goblins to do it. They're more tech savvy than me. Also, we got more than just models. We got a lot of them subclasses and pre-made adventures too. Proper good that. We play it down Thursday night down the local tavern. We get a pint of grog and we sit down and play it. Big Morgie last week played as that crackhead monk, and he was actually quite good at it, seeing as he's not right in the head ever since the barmaid whacked him for smacking his tits. But, yeah, go over and check it out. That's all me. That's me, darling. See you bye.
Not D&D, and not during the true Satanic panic years, but my mum got involved in a Baptist church around the time I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. So by definition, so did the rest of the family. She went in hard, though to this day I'm not sure if it's because she actually believed it or just enjoyed claiming that all of her decisions were God's will, because she prayed about it. Around the 3rd grade, a schoolyard fad was the still new Magic the Gathering. I didn't like traditional playing card games, and always imagined some sort of game like it, albeit with Ninja Turtles. So like with any schoolyard fad, and in the absence of an alliance, I begged my parents to buy me cards so I could play with the other kids. When the answer was no, my first reaction was fine, I'll make them myself, and proceeded to make the most edgy lord cards my 8-year-old mind could conjure up on loose leaf paper with a ballpoint pen.
It sounds like me as a child. I did this with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I made a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
I made a lot of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, but but tell me it wasn't like, the coolest shit ever. Yeah,
I made a lot of Pokemon cards.
Yeah, and
but I would have drawn a really bad picture of my dog, Tigger.
No, I remember though. I still distinctly remember making a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I cut out the picture of it and I put it in and drawn. And I just remember it was a guy with long hair, and it was an anime pose, and he was it was like he was going Super Saiyan. I can't remember what I called it or whatever, but that sounds like me.
Yeah.
I had long black hair.
I think
very
most kids
edgy.
done that if they were into cards.
Yeah.
Which my mother looked at and determined that based on what I'd made, the game was demonic and therefore hard forbidden. Why, what did you make?
I want to know just how bad it was.
Eventually I'd find a knockoff Magic the Gathering game in a Bible store that I'd get taken to. It was obviously terrible, and anything made where preaching a religious message is patronised over making something good tends to be. I played it all at once with a preacher's son that went to the same public school, but it wasn't long before I got shoved into a closet and mostly forgotten about. Oh, it got shoved into a closet.
You
fuck,
the child?
it's Matilda. Jesus, into the chokey.
You told your mum.
I did.
You told your mum.
I was the biggest little liar ever.
Yeah.
I told my mum went to P1 and the teacher put me into the chokey, and I also told her that the groundskeeper told me to get the fuck off the grass. And she was like, "No, I'm going to ring the school and tell them that he swore at you, but then he's going to get fired and he's not going to be able to feed his kids at the dinner table, and the kids are at the dinner table going to be like, Daddy, why have we got no food? Our tummies are hungry." And I was like, "No, Mum, I'm lying. I'm lying."
You're fucking
I was like 5.
Yeah. So what did you have against the groundskeeper anyway?
I think he probably did tell me to get off the grass because he was cutting it, and then I was like, "Mum, he told me to get the fuck off the grass." I think I'm lucky that even before my mother went religious, I was more interested in science fiction than fantasy. Although she routinely boys, I'm a mother with lack of sleep. Please forgive me. Although she routinely attacked anything that smacked off magic?
Keep going, it's alright.
As both my mother and father were lab technicians, they couldn't attack my obsession with TIE fighters or Timberwolves or on MS-DOS. MS-DOS. With anything more than, why don't you go outside and play?
I think I got that quite a bit. I do like to think that his MS-DOS is actually, what do you call that one? Temple OS. By Terry Davis.
Oh yes.
I do like to imagine that maybe that's what he was working on.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel, you know what the thing is? I feel bad because I think when you're a wee bit older, you can kind of explain to your parents.
Yeah.
But whenever you're a child, you really can't explain very well. You don't have that power to be able to actually come up with a logical explanation and be able to actually talk to them. And also, you're a fucking child. You know what I mean? So it's like...
I remember I went to...
your parents probably aren't going to take it seriously.
I went to
GB.
Yeah.
But I only...
What's GB for the Americans? Just so
Girls Brigade. It's like a club that you go to, but it's very heavily based around God.
Yeah, it's like a religious after school type thing.
But saying that, I was never brought up in the church. My mother's Catholic, my father's Protestant. They didn't practice, they didn't do anything. They let us grow up and be what we wanted. And I only went to GB because a lot of my friends went to it, and I was like, Mom, can I go? And Mum was like, yeah, if you want to go, that's fine. So we went. It was on a Tuesday night. My dad always worked night shift on a Tuesday, so it was only me, my mum, and my sister.
Yeah.
And on a Tuesday night, right after GB, Most Haunted was on.
Oh,
the
yeah.
TV show Most Haunted, and it was like
a
a ghost catching thing. And I always got so excited because my mum would have made like a wee party for us, with sandwiches and sweets, and we had a girls' night in. And I remember getting excited and telling all my friends in GB, yeah, I'm going home to watch Most Haunted. Next minute, I got a phone call from your woman who ran it, and talking about my mother's morals and all this, so I was took out of GB. My mom was like, you're not going.
Yeah, fuck that.
No.
Fuck that. You know, this is the thing, like, you know, I feel like when it comes to religion, like, personally, I do think religion, some people need fucking Jesus.
Some people, I'm not going to deny, a lot of you boys need fucking Jesus.
Personally, it's not really my thing. No. I'm not religious. I do understand why it's important to people, but I really dislike when people try to use religion to be, oh, I'm morally and everything else superior to you.
Yeah.
As your fella said here, oh, maybe she just wanted all of her decisions to be like, oh, it's God's will, by the way.
Yeah.
You know,
which is strange because some of the most evil people I've met are Christians.
Yeah, I've came across a lot of really lovely. Like, oh, okay, so especially over here in Northern Ireland, you don't really say if you call them the Catholic a lot of the time. People that are religious just say they're Christian. They don't say if they're
one or the other.
Yeah, they just say, oh no, we're Christian, just, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's a really hard one because they're either really lovely people or the spawn of the fucking devil. And there's really no in between.
But yet they act like the best people ever in front of their congregation.
I know, it's
yeah.
Have you guys ever experienced it?
I'm sure you have.
Are we turning into like 2011?
No, don't even say it. See the like 2008 and 8 to 12 internet atheists.
Biggest pack of cringy bastards ever.
And I hate telling people, oh, I'm an atheist, because then they automatically jump to that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I'm nothing.
I'm not interested in that type of stuff. Sorry about that, guys. That's what I fall back on, you know.
Had a school security lady who thought we were devil worshipping because a bunch of us would play magic at lunch while they were sitting around the back of the cafeteria, like with their magic cards out, and be like, what she imagines it's like candles lit everywhere. What really is they're just smoking a fag right now.
Where they laying out like the cards in like a pentagon shape or some shit. With like a flow.
Tried for like 2 years to get them banned from the school. Not a religious area, so she was pretty much pushing for this on her own. Nobody gave a shit. If anyone who played got in trouble for anything, it ended up as a phone call to their parents explaining how the card game was turning the kids evil. This just led to parents being worried about people who would work with their kids more than anything. Yeah,
that's what I would feel.
Eventually, she changed her angle and claimed it was gambling.
I mean, it's probably more accurate if I'm not going to lie.
Which got the game shut down for about a week before we just started playing it again. Literally no one but her cared. The principal wouldn't do anything if she dragged you down to the office for playing, so she gave up shortly after. This was her concern when the richer kids in school were betting hundreds on football games and craps in the hall.
Yeah, it's...
I remember I got thingy banned from my primary school.
What?
Crazy Bones.
Oh, Crazy Bones, they were great.
I got them banned.
Why? What did you do? Did you bust them off someone's head?
Yeah.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Tell the story.
No.
You don't want to tell the story about how you whacked someone?
Well, it was like my bully in school. You know him.
Oh, yeah.
In primary school, I was playing Crazy Bones.
Crazy Bones was a game. You had to flick them on the table. It was kind of like marbles.
But it was like little hard plastic figurines, like these monster things.
Yeah, and you would flick them.
Flash up a picture to us.
Yeah, what was the one? Shark, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting playing them with one of my friends, and the fella came up and lifted on my Crazy Bones and like started pinging them across the place so I couldn't get them, and I said, what the fuck? So I lifted my mate's stack of crazy bones and started pinging them off the back of this boy's head. He ended up having to go to the hospital and get stitches along the back of his head.
Fuck him.
And I got them banned from school.
Well, you know, like, it was a noble cause, that's all I'm gonna say.
Also in school, remember those things that went onto your finger and they're like a jelly ball, and they're like, it was almost like yo-yo, but it wasn't.
Oh yes,
them
yeah,
things,
yeah,
and
yeah.
had like liquid inside it,
Yeah.
and they looked like wee spidery things.
Yeah, yeah.
They got banned from our school because some kid tried to choke another kid.
I don't think you get very far. I mean, it's pretty scratchy, like,
Yeah.
Pretty scratchy. I don't think you're going to be able to...
But whenever you're 5...
you can give it a good attempt. I mean, like, a lot of 5-year-olds do need a good kick in the face, not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie.
This video does not endorse abuse of children.
Yes,
I'm just going to move on to the next
doesn't.
post.
I was in elementary school in the late 80s, and like most kids whose parents worked all day, I attended an after-school care program. My best friend's older brother was in high school at the time and was into D&D. And my friends managed to snag some of his brother's D&D books, and we spent an afternoon looking at the pictures.
So it's like the nerdy version of looking at titty magazines back then.
Unfortunately, one of the coordinators for the after-school program saw us looking at the books and instantly confiscated them, took us to her office, and proceeded to berate us on how D&D was an
instrument
of the devil, and told us she would talk to our parents. We were scared shitless. My friend especially, since his brother would probably kick his ass when he found out that my friends had stolen his book and got them taken away. Fortunately for both of us, the coordinator's rant came off as an unhinged and silly to our parents. He told the coordinator that she was being irrational and that we could barely read the books to begin with. That coordinator spent the rest of the school year pretending that my friend and I didn't exist.
I would consider that a win. That's a win.
Win-win.
Win-win. You gotta avoid it at all costs.
Yeah.
I do imagine that wee fella got absolutely battered by his brother.
Yeah, it's in the fucking books!
What? I think we're gonna end it there. Honestly, what the fuck was wrong with boomers and calling everything fucking satanic? It really doesn't add up.
Remember like Harry Potter as well?
Yeah, well, no, you see, I was very lucky. My stepdad, he loved the Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
He was really into them, so he was. And they
weird.
were great, like, you know, but you know, it's such a shame because I loved Harry Potter as a kid. I think it was like the first real fantasy book that I like actually like properly read. And looking back on it now, it's like, why did I feel sad now about it.
Then
but
you see
like,
all the blue-haired people walking about with that long triangle.
Oh yeah, like all I'm saying is it was the Americans that ruined it. It wasn't.
Yes,
that's
it
all
was
I'm
the
saying.
Americans that ruined it. Whenever it stayed over here, it was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't until later on. But yeah, Harry Potter. I got that actually before Harry Potter. It was like witches and warlocks, and I just don't understand how fantasy can be seen as instruments
My
of the
first,
devil.
I think.
Time. Well, what times have you played with a toy and an adult has told you that's the work of the devil?
Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon for me was probably the first one.
But like I think my first like awakening into like fantasy.
Red Pilling.
No,
Red Pilling.
Into fantasy anyway. Probably would have either been watching The Dark Crystal.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Or
maybe Labyrinth would have been.
Labyrinth, maybe.
Yeah.
Or The Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron. A lot of people don't like The Black Cauldron.
I love The Black Cauldron.
I thought it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it as a child. I thought it was really fun.
That little fucking dog thing.
Yes. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I really want to know what it was with boomers, and it's like, you know what it is? It reminds me of like boys that are like into like really out there conspiracy ones, and it's kind of like, oh, okay, I've got this information. And it's like, you know, like you get woke or whatever. It's like, oh, I know the secrets to all mankind or some shit like that. And it's like, no, this is no, but you know what I mean. You know, guys that are like went off the deep end, like, you know, on it, and it's like chemtrails. You know what I mean, all that type of stuff. And it's kind of like forbidden knowledge, and that's kind of what I feel like whenever boomers first heard about X, Y, and Z being satanic. It was kind of like their version of, this is information from God. Yeah. You know, and
I was going to make a note.
No, why? Well, how bad is it?
I won't.
All right, okay. Let's avoid controversies. Let's just say, but there has to be something within, especially boomer or just middle-aged women, that seems to go off. Like, and it's not menopause.
Think of the children!
Is it the menopause that makes women go crazy? Well, it does make women go crazy, but is it part of it, do you think? Or is it...
No, I don't know. I think it's maybe just, especially with, like, boomers and stuff, I think it's maybe just the way they were brought up.
Yeah.
They were brought up as, where nowadays it's not so much, where back then they were brought up with God or whatever else being the head of the household type of thing. Like it was the main factor around the family table, and the family dynamic was a religious backdrop, where nowadays it's not so much.
Yeah, it's not as pleasant.
Yeah, it's not as poignant as what
it still exists, because like I think whether we're or not, we live in Christian countries, so our laws and our worldviews do reflect that of Christian ideology.
It's more the moral standpoint. A lot of our laws and stuff, but which isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not. No, I think it's.
But
don't be killing people. That's a pretty.
And don't be stealing my shit.
Yeah, because
I'll go back to the old laws. I'll cut off your damn hand.
Yeah, you want hellfire and brimstone, mate? Like, you seen any of them well, you haven't seen them, but like you heard about them execution. Do you want the chokey, man? Do you want the I'll make the chokey fucking real. We were talking about that in this video, weren't we? We've been recording that much.
Yeah,
I can tell you half the time idea, guys. If we're talking about stuff in this video or videos two videos ago.
But we're going to end it here. Check all the links down below to the models. The models and subclasses, all that good shit. Hit subscribe.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I forgot to say this. I put up a poll, so I did, and I was asking people, how often do you play... How often do you play, just in general? It doesn't have to be D&D. Just play whatever. Do you play twice a week, once a month, once a year? Never. And the second highest one is never. So if you guys are interested in like looking for games, there is a looking for group Discord down below. It isn't like, okay, yeah, we made it, but
we made it. No games are running it.
It's like,
but you can find other people.
No, I can't testify for the quality.
Yeah.
But
you might find someone. You might make new friends. Give it a whirl.
Like, check it out. It might be worth it.
You might find some people close to you. Maybe meet up, have a group. I don't know.
Yeah, worst time.
Be careful, people on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. Don't send pictures, you asshole.
Yeah, don't be doing all that. Don't just be fucking normal, guys. But hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time we post. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
All those moments we lost in time.